Rolling, rolling, rolling. Maisie keeps on rolling. Oh. This is not funny. You just want to make an idiot out of me. No. Everything's good. Let's close up on Maisie while you get your shit together. Lena still can't watch that video with me. I thought I was off the hook until whenever. Yeah, all right. You put it in the queue. Say you did that much. Maisie keeps on rolling along. Look at the way she sticks that one black foot out. It's just sticking out. Yeah, she looks good. She's eating a vitamin. She feels like a great thing is happening in her life. Everybody pays attention to me, she says. I'm Maisie the Great. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Maisie keeps on rolling. All together strolling along. She's always been this way, like sniffing my hand. Like, what are you doing, mommy? What's on your hand? Ew, yeah. That's that cat's attitude with me. Like, oh, mommy, what are you doing? Get off. Not really. A little bit. She's a little bit like that with me. Yeah. Mommy, what's going on? Hey, Chris, I love the little candle thing you got in here going.
Yeah, those are deck candles turned into beautiful...
In the blue plate. Where did we get that little blue plate?
I think Steven.
Yeah, it just turns out all these things are inherited or gifts, and they're all these pretty blue, like German, European-looking things, except for this big jug. I got this at some kind of sale. $4, and I was like, all right. But it's like those old Oktoberfest mugs of beer they used to leave jug on the table. Boy, they had those little German girls, honey, at the Oktoberfest. Yeah. They were strong as hell, those little German girls. Well, the older women were battle-axy, weren't they? That's what those girls became. That was like their mothers, you know? Yeah. You used to love the Oktoberfest. I did. It was, yeah. It was a real sense of history, and I had a lot of experience, especially later on when I married the Nazi, and the year before we got married, we traveled to Germany together and stayed at all of his relatives' houses. We traveled all over Germany, from the mountains to the cities and everywhere in between. It was a hell of a trip, almost 3 weeks, and everyone treated me so nice. Ingrid, Tante Ingrid, she loved you. I know. So did Tante Lilo. I know. That family loved you, you know. Really loved you. Really loved you. They were proud to know beautiful Hungarian. Stephen's marrying this beautiful Hungarian girl. Something different. And they all spoke about you. She is so beautiful. Where did he find this one? You never knew that, or even would dare think they were saying that about you. Well, who thinks these things, you know? I'll tell you, his sister. She was aware of it. Well, who cares what his sister thinks? I don't want to think about her too much. She loved you too, you know. They all loved you, Lena. They were angry when you left. That's all. They were hurt. You were a very important part of their lives. We went to a real Oktoberfest in Germany, in Frankfurt, in the heart of Frankfurt. Where you sat at all these big wooden tables and you ate Handkäse mit Musik. And Handkäse was this homemade German cheese, hand cheese. They make it by hand. And it's very rich Handkäse with I loved the apple beer and the apple wine, and I stuck with that very cidery kind of wine and beer. And the Handkäse and the mit Musik was the joke. The music was people farting. Handkäse, we go to Frankfurt, Handkäse mit Musik. That was how Tante Ingrid spoke. Hallo, guten Morgen. Every morning she made such a beautiful breakfast. And she would just always be very disciplined, eat her yogurt with fruit. And she's like, on the weekend, that's when I eat, the wursts and all that. But during the week, she ate her yogurt and fruit. Made us feel very guilty for eating ham and sausage and eggs. But it was so good, and she had obviously put so much love and care into it. She gave us her bedroom, her and Hans, her husband, such a beautiful man. He kind of looked like George Martin a little bit. Very elegant and handsome. They let us sleep in their bedroom for almost a week. Beautiful master bedroom, and they slept on the couch. In a small apartment in the city, but it was a beautiful apartment, and it had a large balcony. That was the thing for that apartment. That was the draw. Not the apartment so much, but they bought it for the balcony. And you could take in the sun, and she had flowers all over the balcony. Why am I crying? Because it was beautiful. It was an experience like none you had ever had. It's true. And she had fruit like this. That's why you had me get this fruit, isn't it? Yeah. And only, of course, hers was not sugar-free. We would go shopping and we would walk through the village. And they spoke no English. But we understood each other so well. And then when it was time to go to the next place, she was crying because she loved Stephen so much. He was her godchild. She adored him. You could really see how much she just loved him. They didn't have children. She wanted them very badly. She couldn't have them, or he could. I don't know what the story was. But they were so in love, and everywhere they walked, they held hands or had their arms around each other. And at that time, they were already in their late 50s, early 60s. They were older, but really devoted. Had been together since they were young, very young. And I watched them. I remember when we were walking behind them, and I watched them holding hands on some street in Germany. Actually, it was an overpass. I remember there were cars, and it was like a. I remember it so well. And I thought to myself, I'm not ever going to have that, what they have right there. Oh, well, I have lots of things. I don't need that. Well, now you have it. Yeah, I do. The Invisible Man. Yes. You're such a sentimental girl. So beautiful. I know I used to feel the same way looking at people, and I felt that way about Paul and Linda. But you had Yoko. Yes, but what? Well, they knew it wasn't what they had. I wanted the house in the country. I wanted someone who loved animals the way Linda did. I wanted somebody who pushed me to be a better man unselfishly. Yoko was very wonderful in many ways, but she was selfish. She was a selfish person. She had a modus operandi, but I went in knowing that, so I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. When you go in knowing it, it's okay. Like I said, my real soulmate in that whole story was Sean anyway. Really, truly. I love that picture you picked out yesterday of me and him being cranky in the Japanese restaurant and me laughing and holding up pictures trying to cheer him up. You know, people would look at that picture and say, "Oh, look at John, he looks all scraggly." Hey, I hear what people say. He looks all scraggly there. He couldn't even wear a matching shirt and pants. He really, really let himself look like a old hippie at the end there with that kid. And why would people say that? You look like the coolest father like anybody could ever fucking have. Well, people who liked the original John, that in their mind, right? But that's neither here nor there. My point is that he was really my pal, my real soulmate in this world. He was finally it. He was finally the one that I would have, laid down and died for. We had such a connection and still do. And that's why I said, when I crossed over, I said, boy, he's all right. It's killing him that I'm not there taking him here and there and talking, physically with him. But he's the first one out of everyone. The first words out of his mouth, barely 5 years old, was, "Now Daddy's part of everything that's bigger. He's everywhere. I can feel him. He's everywhere. Daddy's everywhere now. He's not just here, but everyone can feel him, really." And, people gloss over the fact that he said that, but Yoko made it a point that people should know that he said that. And he got it. That I wasn't gone. Not really. But yeah, he missed me, I know. It's a funny world, and it's a funny system that the good Lord has, but it's really beautiful, and I think you know that. Yeah, I do. I do know that. Oh, I know it. I took a nice shower this morning. That was fun. Yeah, it was good. It was really fun. What are we making? We're making macaroni and cheese with, boy, easy does it. We're making macaroni and cheese rice-a-ronis. Oh, isn't that exciting? Yes. Here's the rice. You can put it over here. Wait a minute. No. I need one large one and one small one. I love the way those little candles look on that table. They look so cute. I'm really happy with that. What's that? Oh, I bet. Well, they look so adorable right now, Chris. I'm so happy with that. It makes an altar in here. It's wonderful. Maisie? Yes. You sit there while I take my chlorophyll and don't fuck around. You hear me, Maisie?
You go in at night and the lights open there. It really looks cool. It's like a light. It's so light.
I'm so fucking feeling that.
Did you see a cup of tea there?
Yeah, I'm drinking it. Maisie, she's the little cat that lived her life so well. She tried to do everything right.
Also, she's really claiming that kitchen table.
Yeah, she's funny. She just move your tail because really, you don't have to do that. She doesn't like it.
Decided to eat some food today. She jumped down, had some water.
The vitamins perked her up. I promise you that. Those vitamins do wonders for this little stinky cat.
Worried about her sitting on that table. What's going on?
Yeah, she just gets like these oddball things, and she wasn't feeling good. She had a cold, but while she was trying out that table, she kind of like realized that she liked it.
Right. Bunny was like, hey, that's my spot.
Yeah, it's like, dude, that's my fucking table.
He went over to the other table to sleep there. But you can tell he didn't like it as much.
Yeah, and of course, once she has something, he wants it. That's the way these cats are. Yeah.
But it's such a break from me because for the last 2 months she's been like just crawling down my throat over here.
Yeah, she's.
But I let her sit on me. But it was like if you're trying to do something, pay some bills or something, it's like, come on, get away from me for 5 minutes.
I know it's hard. It's hard to say no to them too. Ugh, I still can't use this fucking thing. I still cannot use this fucking thing. All right, easy does it.
With the olive oil.
Oh God. Yeah. All right. Easy. Fuck, it's still too big. It's not gonna always be too big. You got it. I need both hands and both shoulders to use this fucking thing, John. And it's not always gonna be that way, Lena. Okay? Now use both hands, please, on the pot. Okay? Yeah. Now come on. Got this far today. I don't care if you pause the camera or not, but go ahead. Okay, back. He doesn't let me pause. I don't let you pause the camera. Why do you think we're doing this? It's like, it's your job too. Exactly. It's my job to talk with you and be with you in this way on camera. Okay? I understand. Mother and father want this, and we must do service, right? And this is the service, love. This is the service. Just breathe into it. Breathe. It's gonna get easier. No, we don't need any help. Take a sip of something if you want to take a sip. Also, for God's sake, use an ice pack. Okay, honey. Here we go, back. See, you shouldn't have even put that back on the burner because now you have to take it off again. Noodles, caboodles. I'm gonna miss these noodles, but I'll tell you what, we got so many coming. Not really so many coming, but we use them so sparingly when we make them that they'll last forever. It gets to be like a challenge to see what I can do, because my what is this? Do I have Parkinson's disease? Is that what this is? No, honey. Because I'm watching that video yesterday of that guy, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, what the hell? Do I have what this guy has? No, you're not shaking, right? Well, MS? I'll keep you posted on that.
Could this be the arthritis?
Yes, she's crippled with arthritis. She is literally crippled with arthritis. You do not have MS. You do not have Parkinson's. You do not have heart disease. You do not have epilepsy. You do not have narcolepsy. You don't have any of those things. Any other questions? I'm gonna blow my nose. You take that bread into the bedroom, please. The bread room. I'll meet you in the bread room, baby. It's gonna be great. Is there an, yeah. Where's the open corn? Or did we transfer the corn?
All that's left is the unopened can of corn, the big one.
Oh, we finished the other corn. Have you been eating that corn?
I had some, yeah.
Is that sour cream powder back there, or is that something else?
I think it might be sour cream powder.
Let's have a look at this. Oh, baby. Yeah? Let's have a look. It's right. So this going into the mac and cheese today? What do you think? This looks pretty interesting. Yeah, a little sour cream never hurt anybody. Taste it. I think that's going to be killer. Killer diller. All right, honey. Now you're swinging. Where's the here? Where? Yeah, here it is. The new garlic powder. Right. Right. Everything's going great. Do you feel better after crying this morning? I didn't expect to be crying over Tanta Ingrid. Listen, you know what else? So Tanta Lilo was the one who had the house in Enheiden, which was like, sort of like Fleischmann's, really not unlike it. Long drive, but not, because we took the Autobahn, yeah. The Autobahn. Stephen kept talking about, wait till you see the Autobahn. What Autobahn? I thought it was like Autobarn. I'm like, where are they taking me? And what, to the Autobarn? It was a highway that took you directly from the city to the mountains. Well known in all of Germany. Very well known. Use the paste. Paprika paste. Thank you, we will. Speed of light. I think people were going, you can go as fast as you want. People were going like 200 miles an hour. I'm not fucking kidding. It was like being on like the Indianapolis Raceway, yeah. But for an hour. And you were flying. And everyone was flying. And everyone did really fine. They were like experts at this drive. And you know what? If you didn't feel like you were going to be an expert at this drive, then you didn't do that drive. And it was never crowded. It was never packed. And for most of the ride, and this was on a weekend, For most of the ride, you were the only one that you could see for long stretches of time. Very bizarre experience. I was like, I can't fucking believe how fast we are going in this car. And it was Ingrid, the little old lady driving. Yeah. Tanta Ingrid. Fucking racing down the Autobahn. Yeah. I tell you, I was impressed. Yeah. So we got there in like no time at all. Also, you know, we're up in the mountains. Because there you are, you're up in the mountains. First we were in the city, now we're in the mountains. Because when you go at 900 miles an hour, you're in the mountains. So there's this beautiful mountain village where they had all these little bakeries, and you would go in the morning. And usually they went before we were awake. They would walk into the village, Lilo and Otto, and get a butter cake, which was like a pound cake, but not as sweet, but it was filled with gobs of butter. I don't know how they baked these gobs of butter into the cake. It was fucking unreal. So every morning there'd be a butter cake waiting and a bunch of sausage, which could explain why Otto had colon cancer, right? But he didn't know it. But when we were staying with them, Otto was in a great deal of pain. Yeah. Every day he'd say, I feel like I have cement in my asshole. I can't go. I can't go. I can't go. And the Lilo would be like, why don't you... Otto, was machst du? She had a very, what I believe is a very intellectual accent. She was... of all the relatives, Lilo was very, again, didn't speak any English. I didn't, and I barely knew any German. Bare bones, really. But I could tell that she was highly intelligent. I could tell that they had, so was he. A lot of sophisticated reading material. Books and books and books, all in this little chalet where they were staying, which was really no bigger than the cabin that we have upstate, but theirs was tricked out really beautiful. Little couches, everything just so very modern. Very modern, but also kitschy. She had a real eye for decorating country style kind of things, much like Lena. Yeah, she was like Lena. This woman was, really, you too were symbiotic in your intellect. Yeah. Yeah, it was funny. She could interpret everything I was saying, and I could interpret, and we never spoke each other's language, right? But we would be laughing, and I don't even know what the hell we'd be talking about. Anyway, where are we here? Oh, we're gonna get some of this in there. All right, so and Otto was a big drinker. They all drank. Everybody drank, right? Yeah. Everybody drank. But Stephen was in his glory because Otto and him were constantly really polluted all the time. Yeah. And I said to Stephen, your uncle is like really sick, there is definitely something wrong with him, and it's all he can talk about. But that couple did not have a happy marriage. She was always telling him, oh God, you are such a fucking idiot, like you're such a complainer. He won't go, and he wouldn't go to the doctor. He wouldn't, that was a big problem. He wouldn't go to the doctor. He finally did go, and it was much too late. But that was well after we were home from Germany. He died about a year later. I knew he was going to. I said, there's something really wrong with this Otto guy. Anyway, I forget where I'm getting with this story. Well, just that interesting people, right? Yeah. You've been around the world. living with all kinds of crazy, interesting people. Yes, that's true. Oh, what about Anka? Yeah, Anka and Michal, which is another name for Michael. Anka and Michal. They were the young couple. They were a couple of years older than me and Steven. It was... Michal was very... He looked just like Sting. And if you think about it, he looked a lot like Jackie Ruckheim. He looked like his cousin, his female cousin, Steven's sister. In fact, they used to call her Little Michelle when she was a baby. And they grew up to look like twins. Yeah. Jackie and Sting there. Sting-a-ling-a-ding-dong. Yeah. But Michelle was a great guy. Did he marry Anka? I don't think so. I think they parted ways. You don't think so? You find out and you let me know if I was right. I thought for sure they were going to get married. Anka was this very earthy, dark-haired German beauty, but no makeup, very hairy legs, one of these real hairy women. But I thought just such a gorgeous face, right? Well, yeah, if you like that type. Yeah, strong face. Yeah, very strong face. Yeah. But me and her really hit it off. She had two giant Afghan hounds. One's name was Humphrey, and I believe the other one's name was Liza. And if anyone has ever seen an Afghan hound, these are very beautiful dogs. Humphrey, named after, of course, Humphrey Bogart, was tan with a black face. His coloring, and they have that long hair. And his coloring was Lisa. Her name was Lisa. Yeah, the other one. Humphrey and Lisa. I thought wonderful names for a couple of dogs. And, right away when she said, these are my dogs, Humphrey and Lisa, I was like, okay, I'm in love with this girl. We only stayed at their house one day. Oh, and Lisa was all white. Very beige white. Like a almost white beige. And very, Humphrey was a big galoot, jumping in everybody's lap and running around and going crazy. Like, even though these were these beautiful designer dogs, they were covered in mud and they were just nuts, And they had they threw a barbecue for us, Anka and Michelle. And in honor of the engaged couple, yeah. And you got to put rice in that one, so you got to keep an eye on that. And you don't really need that spoon right now, but I know you're going to do it anyway. Oh, might as well. You're too much, kid. It's only a spoon. What am I doing? That's so... So they threw a barbecue for us, and they cooked a lot of vegan stuff. Like, there were some sausages, and there were some this and that, but really, all in all, they were very into health. She especially was into the cruelty-free. And you got to remember, this was in the 80s, early 80s. Because me and Steven were engaged for 5 years. So we only got married in 88. So this was like, right after our engagement. So this was a good 4 years before our marriage or something like that. I'm mixing up but yeah, it was well before the marriage itself. Okay, I have to put rice into this pot. Okay, so, but the most striking thing was this young couple, who at the time I guess had to be in their mid-20s, they lived in kind of weird ramshackle apartment. But what was weird about the apartment was it was in a warehouse. It was in an abandoned warehouse. Yeah. Where they found this fucking apartment, I remember him explaining it but and they spoke especially Michel, because he was like a scholar. He's a teacher now, like a very fucking fancy ass teacher of theosophy or something. Very, very fucking progressive. They knew somebody who knew somebody, and they rented this fucking weird apartment in an abandoned warehouse in the middle of this neighborhood where there were no stores. It was like down in Rockaway, like the areas that are forgotten about, sort of. Yes. And they had access to a huge, giant yard. It wasn't even a yard. It was as big as 2 city blocks. It was fenced in. The dogs ran around in it all day. Nobody ever came around there. It was a high grass. I'm yelling because it was so exciting to me. I was like, this is the best place I've ever seen in my life to live. Mm-hmm. If you have to live, because it was the city, technically, but it wasn't. It was like, it's like Rockaway, like down in Rockaway, the areas that are forgotten. Yeah. But still very beautiful. High grass and butterflies and they were saying, "Oh, we love it here so much," but the lease is going to be up because they were like heartbroken. Like, yeah, we've been here 2 years, but it's been wonderful, and the lease is going to be up, and then we're going to have to look for somewhere else because I think they're going to renovate this whole building, and you could see it was inevitable. A giant warehouse. Somebody was going to buy it eventually. So that was so interesting to go and spend the day with this couple who lived in this area with these 2 beautiful dogs. And a couple of years later, Anka and Michelle came to New York City. She had never been. He had been many times. I kind of could sense that maybe their relationship was struggling at the time, but I'm not sure it was. But they were doing their best. Yeah, that might have been like his goodbye to her or something. Am I right? Yeah. But they were putting on a good, they seemed like they were okay. Friends. They were friends. You could see they were still friends, but it was a cool down of what we had seen a couple of years earlier. And somebody was watching her dogs. I remember I was concerned. Where are Humphrey and Lisa? Yeah, that's with Lisa. Yeah, Lisa. So I wanted to treat them. They were staying at the Rookheims and they were going to be there for a couple of weeks. I took them to a wharf type of restaurant down on Rockaway one day. I did this all myself. Stephen was working the whole time.